My name is Brent Peterson. I'm here with Deryck Harlick, and we are going to talk about the newest news in the Magento world involving MageTraining and Wagento. Deryck,
Yes. Yeah.
how you doing
So
today?
I'm doing really well. Yeah. So yeah, quite exciting. We've joined forces. We are
Excellent.
now an ultimate being, or something like that. But no, we've joined forces. So I'm quite excited that we can now officially do stuff together. And yeah, Mage Training and Wagento. Mage Training is now part of Wagento.
So, Deryck, why don't you just give us a little background on MageTraining, what it is, what you've done, how long
Yep.
you've been doing it?
So we've been, as a company, we've been around since around 2008, and around about 2011, we started running specialist merchant courses for Magento merchants, basically to get them up to speed. And at that time, no one was doing anything like that. So just to give you a little bit of history, we scheduled a course in London. We were going to have a maximum of 8 people on that course, and we sold that course out within a couple of weeks. So we were quite happy with that, and then it went from there really. So for the last 8 years or so, we've continued to just run merchant courses, scheduled, but then we started expanding out to then supplying directly on-site training delivered at the client site for teams of people. And also what we found as well, we started doing quite a few agencies as well. We started training their staff up, particularly project managers and account managers. And so the business has really just kind of like grown from there. We kind of see ourselves as very much as specialists in that field.
hmm And I think, everybody knows that we've worked together for quite a long time.
Hmm.
And we've even introduced Mage Training into the U.S. market.
Yep.
But this, I think, gives us an opportunity, along with Magento U, to offer the training to more of a formalized global market under the umbrella of Magento.
Yes. I think that it opens up with the link up with Wagento as well. I think it opens up a larger market, a larger number of people that we can go to. And what we're going to do going forward is that we're going to specialize in Magento U training, which has a whole suite of other training offerings as well that I'm sure that we can deliver those to clients around the UK, around Europe, around the world. It opens up a lot of opportunities for everyone involved in that.
Can you just tell us a little bit about your experience when you're with a client and what you've learned from giving that training, and then maybe we can talk about how we can leverage some of that into more of a strategic outlook and planning for clients.
Yeah. So one of the things that we kind of found kind of by accident, was particularly with on-site training, was that we'd have a team of people there, and maybe there was 5 or 6 people. Quite often those people would be the key decision makers, or the stakeholders within an e-commerce store, an online store. So they were looking to develop their knowledge, but because it's on-site training, what you'd kind of find is that you would end up maybe talking about something to facilitate a discussion. And from that discussion, you would then find that you were actually helping the client to troubleshoot some real business issues that they were having, that they were struggling to work out how they could solve that with the software that they had. So, or it might just be that processes maybe weren't as efficient as they could be. There was all sorts of areas where we found that actually being almost like a third party, an outsider who had very good Magento knowledge, and then you've got the business that has very good, obviously, their knowledge around their business. We would then inadvertently become advisors for them, and we would quite often, and one of the things I always used to be quite proud of was that quite often we'd solve a problem that significantly saved them the money of the training. And that used to be, and so what we found from that was actually the value of what we did was much more than just let's go in and train. Actually, we're going in and we're really helping to, one, empower, but also we can actually go away at the end of that 3-4 days, however long it was we spent training there, and the customer has real life issues that have been resolved. So off the back of that, that there we saw there's an opportunity. And I think as well, with exactly what Magento do as well, that ties in really nicely with maybe being able to go out and help clients just realize full potential of what they're doing. So I see that as quite an exciting opportunity that we could we could be looking forward to.
Okay. Yeah, just so some background on Wagento and how we got into the training business. We are a authorized Magento U trainer for specifically for Latin America and for India, but we also have contracted into Magento U a certain number of our trainers. So we do development training, we do cloud training, order management training, and so what you're going to now allow us to offer is another, not just developer, but let's call it admin user, or what would you call merchant training, which I feel is even more important than the developer training, because at the end of the day, the developer is going to finish what they're doing. And then for the next year, the merchant is going to have to do what they're going to do on the website.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, an important part of a web build is the handover to the client, and all good agencies will do a handover. I think we can do that plus more now. We can really help the client really get to grips and understand their store. So yeah, absolutely. With with that whole suite of stuff as training as well. There's all sorts of areas where there's crossover on that as well. Not all clients want they might want the developer training, but actually in many cases, certainly from a merchant point of view, actually what they need to understand is how do I run my store? How can I get the most out of it, and where do I go next, and what's the route forward for us on that?
Yeah, and I think I'm very excited about some of the new product offerings that Magento U is coming out with in terms of merchant or front-facing training opportunities. So there is a new class for advanced marketing and sales coming from Magento U. And I think that there is only going to be more and more opportunities to help the client understand how they can better use their Magento admin, as well as how they can market what they're doing in Magento, how they can create content.
Yep.
And I know in your case, helping them to understand maybe even taxonomy and how their catalog works. You and I personally, in a basement in a hotel, in a motel in London, got Magento up and running in 90 minutes.
Yeah, was that the Crown Plaza at Westminster? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that we have a lot of good opportunities now to educate Magento clients or potential Magento clients on how Magento could be used in terms of not having to have a developer always involved in the project. So we can come up with solutions that allow the merchant to launch their store, manage their store with little intervention from a developer.
Yeah, and I think, and that's where the smart money is, if you like, is that the more you empower a merchant, the more the agency is empowered as well. Because as the merchant develops, their requirements get more and more sophisticated, and actually, if their requirements get more sophisticated, they need to come back. However, if they and this is anecdotal, but really based on what people say to me when they are getting training, is that if they feel they're kind of beholden to the agency, and they've got to go back when they're just trivial things that they want to sort out, then that there's an element of resentment there, if you like. And And what you want is you want the merchant, no, you want that merchant to fly with the store so that they want to get to the next level, because the next level is a win-win for everyone. That means that they're pushing their business forward. And to do that, they need someone else to help push their business forward. And then you train them up in that bit. And the other thing as well is that, merchants are getting more and more sophisticated. And, Magento are reacting to that. Magento U are reacting to that by bringing out more courses. And actually, there's quite a few products within the suite of Magento products that we could that they are bringing out courses for, and the merchants are now, it's not just about how do I put a product in, it's kind of now we're looking at the whole marketing system, and as Adobe gets more integrated in, that's going to become more of a requirement to get people educated, and this is a springboard to that as well. And I think it makes Magento very well placed to be a leader in that side of Magento U, and other products that complement that as well as time goes on.
That's great. And so are you excited about your first opportunity that we have for you training in Spanish in Mexico City?
Uno cerveza, por favor.
Exactly. We're training Deryck how to order a beer on Magento in Mexico.
I was asked recently how my Spanish is, and I said my Spanish starts with being able to order a beer, and it ends with thanking the person who gave me the beer.
That's perfect. Great. Well, I think we're excited about the opportunities that we have now. I think what I'm most excited for is the ability to have more strategic planning with clients. Magento has been around for 10 years now, and we have traditionally been seen as a very technical company. So how do you make my API endpoint connect to the next API endpoint? And we are now venturing into the waters of strategic planning with the client and quarterly planning, which Deryck will be involved with all of our clients to help them to create a roadmap over the next year, quarter year, and then beyond, to get the most out of what they're doing in their Magento store.
Yeah, I think that's there's some hopefully some really interesting stuff coming up for everyone on this, and I think there's a place there where clients don't always know what it is that they need, and just someone suggesting some ideas to them can really help them steer them in the right direction.
Okay, Deryck, well, I really thank you for your time. I know that one of the big things that I'm excited about is that you're going to start using Z's and authorization and organization instead of an S.
Yes, I'm changing my spell checker to the American spell checker.
Yeah,
yes.
I've already made you switch Grammarly to the US version. But honestly, we could come up with sort of a compromise and just do Canadian.
Canadian?
Yeah, it's just an idea. Anyways, I digress. Is there anything else you'd like to say as we depart?
No, other than I'm gonna, one of the things I'll personally be doing is I'll be attending several events over the course of the year. I'll be at Magento Live Europe next week. Depending on when you're listening to it, it might have been a long time ago if you're listening to it in the future. And but I am happy to talk to anyone. This is quite an exciting time, I think, in the life of MageTraining. So I'm just looking forward to connecting with people and talking about it, and just talking generally about Magento anyway.
All right, yeah, and I'm excited about this merger, and also then in the future we are going to be doing some Wagento office hours, and I know Yisa Ritzma is going to join us to talk about some of the coding side, and then you and I can talk about more the user side, and we're hoping to have that every month coming up into the future. Great, look forward to that. All right, thank you. All right, well, thank you, Brent. I'll speak to you soon. Okay.